Hello, sacred beings of light and dark. Welcome back to week 4 of Solstice Echoes. Today I want to explore sensing our world in different ways. We might think that our senses are of the 5, of feeling, hearing, seeing, tasting, and touching, with the addition of a 6th sense or a gut feeling of things that surround us. But I think that there are deeper sensations that go along, maybe within that 6th sense, that I want to pay attention to. Like, what are the things that you can feel in your body based on where you're at? What's your environment like? What are you touching? What are you sensing in all of the other energies that surround you? And I want to explore that through some cards and some crystals and some bowls. So let's see, where do we want to begin? How about places? So last week, this was a card that came up. The Cathedral of Notre Dame. And if you look at this image, sense in your body what comes up for you, whether it's comforting or not. What memories does it bring up for you as you gaze at it? And in a moment, I will switch the card to something different. That was an example of a sacred place for some, but what about this card? What sensations does this card bring up for you? Is it comforting or not? Does it fill you with joy or sadness? Take a moment to explore the image within your body rather than your mind. Together, these images might seem a little bit juxtaposed. One more rigid, one very free-forming, with very different types of energy and beliefs surrounding them. How about these images? A blackbird, a raven. What energy or connotations does this card bring to you? How does it feel to you when you're exposed to ravens in the natural world? And how about this blackbird, which is actually called a blackbird bird? Does it have different connotations to you based on your preconceived notions, based on your experiences? Is one more valuable than the other? And here, how do they become different? One is larger than the other, but their coloring is similar. Their feathers, though, are somewhat different. How do you imagine that they might be or fly in the world with these different types of feathers? And now I'm going to go to water. So what do you imagine that this image of water, what intention may have been placed on this image of water? Or this, what intention do you imagine was placed in this water to form this image? And the answer is eternity or power. Does that match what you sensed in viewing this energy, this image? How about this one? What feelings or sensations come to mind in viewing this one versus the other? What intention was placed on the water that formed this image? For this one, it's peace of mind, wisdom. And now how about some stones? Here we have a black tourmaline. If you've ever experienced black tourmaline, think of that. Or hold this, think of holding this stone in your hand, and how might it make you feel? What does it remind you of? And where are the sensations within your body when you experience it? Tourmaline corresponds to the root chakra, and the root is about being grounded. It's the very lowest chakra in the body. And what about this stone or crystal? This is carnelian. Where do you imagine that this crystal corresponds in your body? How does it feel as you sense into it? Where might be its placement if you don't know? Carnelian corresponds mostly to the second chakra, the sacrum. And finally, one formed into what's called a tower. What does this feel like when you experience it? Where do you imagine that it evokes sensations in your body? Where do you feel that it evokes sensations in your body? This is tiger's eye, and it ranges from the first to third chakras: root, sacral, and sacrum. Root, sacrum, and sacral. Root, sacral, sacrum. Sacral and sacrum are the same. Solar plexus is what I'm looking for. Yes, root, sacrum, solar plexus. So those lower chakras. So all three stones relating to those lower chakras, but in different forms. Now I want to explore some hand mudras. Let's start with one called Open Heart. And as you can see from the image, it's about interlacing the fingers and holding them at the heart center. So, interlacing the fingers and holding them at the heart center. And if you do this with yourself, can you feel the energy flowing in those ways? Is it opening your heart? Where else around this area do you feel this energy flowing? And I feel that I want to make some sounds to enhance this experience with this open heart mudra. So I wonder what sensations are coming up for you as I tone, as you follow along with me in toning. When I tone, that particular tone, I felt the vibrations in the center of my heart center. And then I also felt it up here around my third eye. Sound is something that you can both listen to and mirror, follow along with. I think it's more powerful when you do it within your own body versus listening, and yet both are beneficial. So if you were to take this sensation that you feel within the mudra or the tones, what might it be compared to within your world? What knowledge would it give you if you were to feel that in association with another person, in association with another animal, in association with another plant or tree, in association with our world, our earth? This particular mudra says that it assists with expansion, compassion, and self-acceptance. It also directs breath and awareness to the chest, ribs, and back area, directs energy to the thymus gland to assist the immune system, releases muscular tension from shoulders and upper back center, opens the spiritual heart. So there are simple things that you can do that will affect your energy system, things that you can sense and then understand more about what they are about within our natural world, in your relationships and in your connections. Let's try one more. This one is inner sensing. And this one is at the belly center, so sort of in between the sacral and solar plexus chakras that we're talking about earlier. So the fingers are down in the middle and the thumbs are laying against the index fingers and then down at the belly. So with this one, the toning that I did seemed to be right down within the sacrum. Just right there vibrating. The second tone seemed to bring that further up into the body. And finally, back down to the sacrum where it spun around inside. Inner senses for clarity, senses, and inner peace. Reduces sensory overload and aids assimilation of life experiences. Assists abdominal breathing, calms the nervous system, supports the urinary and eliminatory systems. And again, observe where you might have these sensations in the world, in your connections, and what they might mean for you. And one more example will be for the bowls. Which of these bowls call to you? Which tones attract you? Which parts of the body do they resonate within you, and why? Which sounds do you want to hear more of and why? How might they correspond to things that are either present or missing from your life? All things in life have their vibration to them, and they're always sending messages to them, to us, through those vibrations. We send them off to others, and others send them to us. And it's all a mixture of vibrations that we are all sensing together in some way. I believe that we are all connected and therefore are experiencing the same energies at the same time. How we choose to react to them, how we choose to navigate them, are our own aspects to discover and explore and choose. All of life have these interactions. Not just people, but the animals and the plants and the astrological stars and planets. We're all interacting with each other together in this moment, in this energy. So how might changing your energy affect what's happening in our world? How can you imagine that your energy is affecting the world? And how might that energy be formed such that we create the more peaceful place that many of us are seeking? Well, I believe that it starts within us. What turmoils are currently occurring within us that are vibrating outward to others? We need to resolve that within ourselves. The places where we self-deprecate, the places that we're angry, the places that we are uncomfortable, the places that we're wanting and needing. How do we find peace within ourselves that we can emanate out to others and to our world? And what is it that we want to create within ourselves and for a new world that we might enjoy together? Thank you for joining me today on this journey of sensory exploration. I'll see you again soon.